Siomra.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tiny Room. Welcome back to Michael and Benjamin's podcast. Welcome back to the digital Siomra. I am the Michael of the aforementioned Michael and Benjamin's podcast, one of the founding members of the Siomra production team and so on. And I am joined by the man who is the alternate universe pastiche of the podcast host Joe Rogan. It's Benjamin. Say hello, Benjamin.
I mean, that's harsh, man. Fuck.
That's not bad. That's not a bad off the cuff on the spot Joe Rogan impersonation.
Yeah, you caught me off guard there, Michael.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Join me on my other podcast where I'll be talking about THC and are masks necessary?
I mean,
are they?
Yeah, Jamie, pull us up with the theme music there, Jamie.
You want to pull that up?
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have anything music.
Very good, yeah. Benjamin.
Yes.
This week on Michael and Benjamin's podcast, we're launching a new segment, and we haven't quite decided what the name of the segment is. So we've got a few contenders, and let's ask the listeners what they think the new segment should be called. Ben, should it be called Barely News?
Mm-hmm.
Should it be called What Even Is News in Any Ways?
Mm-hmm.
Or should it just be called very simply What Is News?
Baby don't hurt
me.
Oh, sorry.
Baby don't hurt me. No news.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the winner, Michael, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
If I had to, you've kind of loaded the bases there, Michael.
Yeah.
Certain things are going to happen.
Yeah. So, Ben, I mean, the first part of What Is News this week, Ben, and this kind of went under the radar a little bit, but Tatiana Maslany has said she has not been cast as the She-Hulk, the Incredible She-Hulk.
What?
Yeah. On her Twitter, she's been like, guys, I don't know. No one's asked me.
What?
So we all took it as a given because it was announced by Deadline, and they're usually, they're a real media source.
Yes, they're on the money, Michael.
And then other, like, Marvel actors who you'd think might have some insight. Mark Ruffalo, for example, hopped on to give a quick congratulations.
Oh, I don't know if Mark Ruffalo is a reputable source of Marvel information.
Mark Ruffalo might be a dumbass. And Simu Lee was like, yeah, you go, girl. And maybe, Ben, it's all not true.
That's hilarious, Michael.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark Ruffalo is that guy, though, who just means very well and occasionally puts his foot very much in his mouth.
Do you remember when he was in the film Now You See It Too? And it turned out that he was the mastermind genius behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
Completely unbelievable.
Completely. 100% unbelievable.
Mark Ruffalo has no idea what's going on in this film.
As the internet would say, Michael, he has serious golden retriever energy. Yeah,
exactly. I have to stop saying yeah so much. I'm saying it nearly in every sentence. Benjamin!
Yes.
So, on the back of that piece of What Is News, Baby Don't Hurt Me, Baby Don't Hurt Me, not news, there are the rumourverse is a swirl with Spider-Man 3 casting rumours and Spider-Man 3 plot rumours. And Ben, I think, to be honest with you, most of it has about as much truth and veracity behind it as one of our episodes of Pitch Please.
Or a Mark Ruffalo tweet.
Or the insane ramblings of Mark Ruffalo in the film Pitch Perfect 2. Now you see it again.
I would enjoy watching Mark Ruffalo in Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, he'd be good doing a bit of a cappella.
I'd enjoy that immensely. Benjamin, I would watch that several times. Yeah, go on.
But would you watch a Spider-Man film in which Spider-Man is teaming up with Doctor Strange?
No.
Well, you might have to, because, we do a podcast, and that, I think, is the most likely of the casting newses.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, so he'll be in there with Doctor Strange. But Benjamin, would you also watch a Spider-Man which for some reason has Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in it?
No.
Okay, well you might have to again, Ben, because that's the rumour on the street.
Oh. One of the things that probably makes me a poor man's nerd, Michael.
Yeah.
Is the fact that I do not hold the Tobey Maguire thing. I don't get it.
Well, you're too young, Benjamin.
Am I?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. How old are you?
I'm a 29.
And when did Tobey Maguire Spider-Man come out?
2000 something.
Yeah, so look, that falls in right. Oh, you were about 10. You should love it, Ben.
I should love it. That's the
why
thing,
don't you
Michael.
love
That's
it?
what makes me a poor man's nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand the Andrew Garfield hate. I'm not certain why Marvel thinks bringing back the Mark Webb Spider-Man movies is a good idea. I don't get it.
Is it Marvel or is it Sony, Ben? It's
Sony definitely Sony making the push, but I don't understand why Sony thinks they have a masterpiece on their hands, or thinks that fans are the ones going, do you know what I really miss? Blue Jamie Foxx.
Dane DeHaan as the Green Goblin.
Do you know what? I've missed snarky Green Goblin.
Yeah, I like Dane DeHaan then.
Do you remember that time Chris Cooper was going to be Norman Osborn and we just kept him on a deathbed instead? Yeah, let's bring that back.
Oh yeah, Chris Cooper.
I mean, these things happened, Michael, and Michael, let me be the first to say here, when Spider-Man 2 by Mark Webb came out, I quite enjoyed it in the cinema.
No, you didn't.
I did. That's the weird thing, Michael.
Didn't, Ben.
But then I watched it again and I was like, I don't know what was in the popcorn at that particular cinema viewing, but my goodness.
Oh yeah, that's what they do, Ben. They give you the popcorn and the Coke and they put the lights down and you're there with all your friends, and even the biggest tripe seems really great and entertaining.
Because you have a little sugar rush.
That's how they get our good friend Jim. That's why he likes all films. He's never seen a film in the cinema he didn't like.
I think Jim is a plant by Big Cinema.
Big Cinema, he is,
and he's there to turn the skeptics. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's a plan by Big Cinema to influence small to medium podcasts.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's grassroots marketing.
Yeah, to really stop any sort of negative backlash against their multi-million-dollar films.
Well, I mean, us and our 6 dedicated listeners, Michael, are key demographic for them.
Yeah. That's like €100. So no wonder they have Jim in their pocket. No wonder Jim is in the pocket of Big Cinema. Benjamin... Look, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Marvel and their whole multiverse of madness thing, and if they're going to bring all these characters back. I don't trust Sony, Ben, though. I don't trust them as far as I throw them.
Nah. Shenanigans.
Yeah, they're not to be trusted.
Shenanigans.
Benjamin.
Yes.
You know, we've been talking over the last few weeks, and I've mentioned repeatedly that I've thoroughly enjoyed getting up on a Saturday morning and watching the latest episode of the show The Boys. The Boys. And you've said it really shows that maybe the one pump and dump what method? Is that what you call it? Model, the Colopy method is no, sorry, the Netflix method you said, not the Colopy method. That would be this unfriendly. But the Netflix method, Ben, you said it might not be great because some people like to do that. So Ben, bereft as I was of something to watch this Saturday,
go on,
I scoured the internet for new releases.
Okay.
And only in, Ben, and you know, I'm a guy who keeps my ear to the ground on this sort of thing, and I listen out for what's going on.
You do.
And only because I was bereft of something to watch, I was going to watch the latest Penny Dreadful series, Penny Dreadful City of Angels, Ben, but I didn't watch that. Because instead I realised that on Hulu, Ben, they have one pumped and dumped the entire series of the last part of the last TV show produced by Marvel Television, Helstrom.
Oh God!
They released the whole thing, Ben.
That's a one pump dump and flush very quickly, please.
Yeah, it's like, oh, did we make that? Is that still there? What are we gonna do? Well, Ben, let me tell you. First of all, no big fanfare about its release.
Fair.
Second of all, Ben, no Marvel logos anywhere in any of the promotional materials.
Get out of town.
Now, Ben, here's the question. Are there no Marvel logos anywhere in the promotional material for this series? Because option one, Ben, option the first, they don't want to sully the good name of the Marvel brand by dumping out a piece of turd right at the end of its life cycle.
I think, go on, 1 second, what's option 2?
Option 2, Ben, are they trying to present this as a TV series in its own right, not tainted by the, quite frankly, hit or miss production quality of Marvel TV? I certainly wouldn't want my show associated with Marvel TV because it has had as many hits as many misses as hits.
It does. It fails quite frequently.
People were fond of Agent Carter, Ben, but no one loved it and only made 2 seasons.
Is it only 2 seasons?
2 seasons of Agent Carter, yeah. Clucky Dags only got 2 seasons as well, yeah. Again, fine. The likability of the leads kind of got you through it, but otherwise not great.
Michael, at one point, you were the biggest Cloak and Dagger fan this side of the Atlantic.
Season 2, yeah, I probably was. But, I mean, all you have to do to be the biggest Cloak and Dagger fan this side of the Atlantic is think it's mostly fine.
Or be a fan.
Yeah. I like the two leads. The two leads were great. Season 2 was pretty uneventful, though. And, you know, it never really got rolling. Runaways, Ben, whatever.
Yeah.
Ben, that show, which shall not be named, of course, was the production of Marvel TV. Luckily never released, so in the vault somewhere they have 12 episodes of Inhumans,
and may the Lord have mercy on its soul, Michael.
may it stay there for all eternity. Ben, so yeah, I watched Helstrom on Saturday morning. Long story short, I watched Helstrom, and guess what, Michael? Ben, it's quite good.
No.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Michael, you've led me down the primrose path. You laced my palm with silver. You had me believing that this was an utter steaming pile of doo-doo. You've got me.
It's not amazing, man. It's fine. It's I've only watched one episode because I'm going to watch it one episode at a time and see if it's any better that way.
Oh, you're going to try and defeat the one pump and dump model.
Exactly. It's me versus one pump and dump. So let's see if I can do it. Or will I be so drawn into the world of Helstrom that I can't control myself and end up watching the whole thing in one sitting? The answer to that is no, Benjamin.
I would love it if you became the biggest Helstrom fan this side of the Atlantic, though.
It is fine. Do you remember, Ben, the early episodes of Supernatural before it became funny?
Yeah, real spooky.
Yeah, it's like that. It's
good.
It's a demon possession show.
Okay.
With a cool guy who comes into town and he has all the answers and he doesn't take no shit.
Classic.
Yeah, and it's Damon Helstrom and his sister. They don't talk and she's sexy in a weird giraffe way.
She's giraffe sexy, huh?
Yeah, I don't think she's very tall in real life, but she's tall and skinny, and every piece of clothing they put her in emphasizes her tall skinniness.
Is that what you want in a piece of clothing? Is that
emphasizing your tall skinniness? I'd love it if it did that for me. That would be amazing.
Yeah, you are quite tall and skinny.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Yeah,
I mean it lies, but go on anyway. And what else, Ben, is in it? It's fine. It's a supernatural possession drama thing, but it's all right. It's pretty good.
Does the job.
It does the job, and the two leads are very attractive on the eyes.
Well, that's good. I'm going to look up the two leads now on my phone.
Yeah. They're very attractive on the eyes, Ben, both of them. And it's fine. It very much reminds me of Supernatural before it developed its sense of humour. Or any of those other swath of supernatural demon shows. But
well,
not
good.
Horrible. Not horrible is the best thing I can say about it.
Well, that's high praise coming from Michael Leonard.
Yeah, look, it's not. Because some things I think are great, but I didn't think this was great. But it was fine. It'll fill that Saturday morning gap for me, Ben.
Okay. So, Michael, giraffe sexy is a thing.
Is it?
No, but like looking at her, that was the best put way you could phrase it.
Yeah, she's like a sexy giraffe with a pointy fringe for some reason.
Yeah, well done. Well done. You nailed it.
And he's very attractive as well, the gentleman in it.
I'm trying to get a clear picture of him, Michael. He's a little bit hard to...
Yeah, because he's...
he's got kind of a horse sexy thing going on.
Yeah,
Big
he's
jaw.
kind of horse sexy and she's giraffe sexy, so it makes sense.
Equine sexy it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah, giraffes aren't equines, but never mind.
Are they not? There you go now.
No. Are they? No, they're not. Benjamin.
Are they
Look, that's all entirely irrelevant anyway. There are moments, though, when you're going from a show like The Boys. For example, in this episode of, what's it called? Helstrom. A man finds an ancient, evil casket thing, which has the body of the skeleton of a demon in it. Okay. And the casket sends out, like, arms and crushes his body and pulls him into the casket. And they're clearly made of rubber. And most of the crunching and the bloodletting happens just off screen. So we see his face. And, if it was The Boys, it would have happened visibly on screen.
Yeah, it would have been uncomfortable.
It would have been uncomfortable, but also much more expensive.
True.
Because you'd have to CG a whole body or kill a man. And both of those have implications cost-wise.
I mean, probably the CG more than killing a man. Hollywood can make things disappear, lads.
Yeah, that's true. And Benjamin, there's a sexy nun.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, she's a nun,
you've
but
got me.
she's sexy.
That's all I require, Michael, as you know.
She has a fractious relationship with Damon Helstrom.
Ooh, is he tempting her?
I don't know yet, Ben. Maybe as we go along. Who knows?
Oh, what's that? My shirt's falling off? Oh, no.
No,
look
my
away.
rosary beads. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
She'd be gripping them beads. Okay, nice.
It's fine, Ben. It's fine. It's all right. It's fine.
It's grand.
It's grand. It's grand. It does the job. I'll watch it next Saturday. I'll tell you how it goes. I might fade off. I might not watch it all. I might get bored, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I hope you keep it up, Michael, because it's good content for the pod.
Ah, yeah. Look, is it?
Look, is anything we do good content, Michael? At this
Very
point?
good. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why we're not personally in the pocket of big cinema, Ben.
Yeah, because we're just too negative. We're just too negative. We can't get on board. We don't have those positive vibes.
Anyway, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Speaking of things which are unfilmable.
Go on.
What even is the Squadron Supreme?
Very good, Michael. Very smooth. Buttery smooth as usual, Michael.
One of the best, smoothest segues.
Will we explain what we're doing, or will I just jump into...
Well, you explain what we're doing then. Go on.
Look, lads, Michael's had something on the back burner for quite a while.
Not that long. Let's not oversell this. First of all,
well, when Michael was a young lad of 18,
yeah,
he came across something called the Squadron Supreme, and he said, "I'm going to turn that into a movie one day."
Yeah,
and he's been working on it ever since, and he's chosen this format to release it and tell the world that this is how he wants to make the Squadron Supreme movie television series. Yes. Something or other. And he asked me to explain who they were for you, so that you had some kind of context.
Why don't you tell us who even is the Squadron Supreme?
Nice, well done. The Squadron Supreme,
yes,
Michael, fundamentally at their core,
yes,
is a pastiche or a rip-off or a little satirical poke or a mock of the Justice League.
I've heard of them, Superman.
In DC Comics, and they have a surprisingly long history in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
They debuted, well, a version of them debuted, Michael, in 1969. Roy Thomas and Sal... 1969. Avengers number 69. Year. 1969.
Get out of here.
Yep, not kidding.
The most amusing year of all.
And the most amusing issue of Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So, Sal Buscema... I never get his name right. Buscema?
I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce it. You just pronounce it any way you want, Ben. He's not listening.
Okay. Sal, Buscema.
Yeah.
And Roy Thomas, the writer, got together and they created the Squadron Sinister.
Oh, that's how I mean.
For the Avengers as a pack of enemies, Michael.
Good.
And those particular heroes were collected from around the multiverse by the Collector and Kang the Conqueror.
Oh,
and he brought them together in a little team because he was like, damn those dastardly heroes, I have to defeat them. And so in that original lineup, we had Hyperion.
Yeah.
Who's their Superman.
Yeah.
We had Nighthawk.
Yeah.
Who's their Batman.
Yeah. Bloody Shitehawk, more like it, Ben.
We'll get to that in a second, Michael. I'm not certain that Zarda or
Power Princess.
Power Princess, fucking weird name, is in that original lineup, but I'll get to that in a second. You had the Wizard.
Yeah, the Wizard.
And you had Dr. Spectrum.
Yeah.
And of all of those, Dr. Spectrum has the best name. Simply because I like the way Spectrum sounds. I'm a fan. And so that was the original lineup, Michael. And what happened there...
Go on.
What happened there was they were defeated by Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, good.
As you'd imagine. And then, Michael, Roy Thomas was like, yeah, but I quite like those characters. I think there's some interesting things going on there. Maybe we should do something with those.
Yeah.
And so he went and he created Earth 712.
Okay.
And anyone who's a big fan of Marvel Multiverse Theory knows that the primary world that we get our stories from in the Marvel Universe is Earth 616.
Yeah.
And Earth 712 was a world in which the Squadron Supreme were basically the Justice League. So they were good guys all of a sudden. So then we came back and we found Hyperion and all our favourite Squadron Sinister. But this time, Michael, it was a real team.
Yeah, the Squadron Supreme.
The Squadron Supreme. So to go through what each hero can do very, very quickly, Michael.
Yeah.
Hyperion has all the powers of Superman, exactly what you'd imagine, because he's our Superman pastiche. Yeah. But also,
go on.
He can control energy. I'm not sure what type of energy he can control, but he has an energy field in later iterations, and we'll
later iterations. Ben can take a hike. He's Superman. He's Superman.
Dr. Spectrum is your typical Green Lantern pastiche. Dr. Spectrum, depending on who's wielding it, has a little alien gem.
Yeah.
And it can control light and bend light to their will.
It's the Green Lantern, Ben, but any colour.
Yeah, any colour you fancy. Yeah. Any colour on the spectrum. See?
He's on the spectrum, yeah.
See, he's on the... Oh, dear. So, moving on from there, Michael.
Yeah.
We also had Princess Power, or Zarda, as she's later known. And it really depends on what iteration of her you go in for. She's Greek-inspired, like a Wonder Woman. She's very strong.
Wonder Woman, Ben. Yeah.
Very scary.
Yeah, and she's from the secret hidden island of Utopia.
Yep, Themyscira. If you're
it's Utopia Nanara or whatever.
Oh, is that what
she's
it's
Wonder
called
Woman.
in the?
Yeah, she's Wonder Woman. Just call her Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Woman.
She's Wonder Woman. Whizzer is the Flash.
Yeah.
And then there were other characters as well. There was Amphibian, who was their version of Aquaman.
Yeah.
With the worst superhero name I've ever heard. Amphibian.
Yeah, amphibians would die if they went into the ocean.
Wouldn't be great. Doesn't work for them.
No, they have to breathe.
Yeah, it was just a terrible name for a hero. But anyway, that's the Squadron Supreme, Michael. They've kind of done various iterations. I think they were a big plot line in a recent Avengers storyline.
They were the Squadron Supreme of America, where they were recreated by Mephisto.
Yeah, and Phil Coulson was there, and he was evil as well, and it was weird.
Yeah, it was no good.
It was weird.
But they're always knocking about. Anytime you need a Justice League pastiche, there you are. They're ready for you. They're waiting. It's the Squadron Supreme.
They were in the Ultimate Universe for a while as well, Michael. They jumped over into the Ultimate Universe, and Hyperion was there, and Zarda was there, and it was weird.
Yeah, they were all unpleasant.
Yeah, there's a lot of interdimensional hopping when they pop up, and it's like, oh, where are we now? Up through a portal, and what dimension is this?
What is going on? Who is all these people?
There are hints of the Authority to them, depending on which iteration that you read.
Well, that's a very interesting point, Ben. I would say oppositely, there are hints of the Squadron Supreme to the Authority.
Oh, okay. Well,
the Squadron Supreme did the Authority's thing first.
Get out of town.
I won't. Are you being facetious now, Ben, or is that something you actually know?
No, I actually didn't know that, but it makes sense now that I think of the timeline.
Yeah. I mean, in the 80s, Roy Thomas wrote the Squadron Supreme, Ben, and he had them changing the world for the better.
Yeah.
And the whole joy of them being in an alternate universe was he could do huge, sweeping, changing things in the universe.
Huge, sweeping, changing things.
Which wouldn't fly in the Marvel mainstream universe because, there's so many other comics interdependent on each other.
Yeah. What I didn't realise, Michael, is that I have read quite a bit of Squadron Supreme, but I read Supreme Power.
Oh, the unpleasant one.
The bloody Marvel Max series.
Mark Waid? Was that Mark Waid?
Mark Waid, yeah. Very mean, Michael, as usual. And just a bit grim and kind of just dark. Just dark.
Dark.
I sold those comics rather recently and I have never missed them. But
that's interesting.
Except for today, Michael, when I was researching for a podcast where it would have been useful to have all that material that I used to have.
Oh, no, that would have been helpful.
So, Michael.
Yes?
What is your pitch, please?
Right, Benjamin. Okay, so we're doing... and this is rumoured, Ben, to throw back to our segment earlier, What Is News, Baby Don't Hurt Me. This already has been rumoured. There have been rumours of a Squadron Supreme film by the Marvel Cinematic Universe for quite a while. But we're going to ignore those. We're going to ignore those, Ben. And we're going to do a pitch, please. Now, Ben, before we do a pitch, please, there are a couple of things you have to think about. First of all, this is essentially a Marvel Cinematic Universe Justice League film.
Okay, I'm on board.
So you have to get on board with that concept first, Ben. And if that concept is too much, this would never happen.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty bold move for Marvel to make a Justice League film.
It is.
And that is essentially what you're doing here.
Okay.
So, Benjamin, I followed the rules of our other pitches. So this is set post-Infinity War.
Nice.
And, Benjamin, we're following the usual rules of Marvel Cinematic Universe pitch casting and characters, whereupon that we're only going to use actors who haven't already played major roles
Excellent.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But, as Marvel themselves have wanted to do, if someone has had a small part or played a small villain or was on a TV show that no one saw, they can come back.
Nice. Okay,
Like
excellent.
Mahershala Ali, Ben.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be Blade.
He's going to be Blade. And Gemma Chan has played 2 characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Who's the second character?
She's in Eternals. Is she Cersei? I can't remember who she's playing in
Out of
Eternals.
Town. That movie's never coming out, Michael.
Yeah, probably not. It's filmed, apparently. Anyway,
it's never
Ben,
coming out, Michael.
Eternals is actually an interesting one to compare this to. Because
It is, Michael, because...
there are huge issues with team movies. You don't like Avengers, Ben.
Can't
The first
stand it, Michael.
Avengers. And that had to only have 6 characters, all of whom nearly had their own films to introduce them.
Yes.
And one of the big problems with the Justice League film, Ben, was that they were all introduced. We were introduced to these characters in a video clip in a separate film. And then they had to rush to introduce them all and build the team.
Yes.
So my take on this, Benjamin, is that you can't do a coherent forming a superhero team movie
Go on.
in this day and age with the character development that people want and make it good. So the Squadron Supreme film that we're going to pitch, Ben, is not a formation of the Squadron Supreme film. We're going to use the fact that these characters are essentially tropes,
Yes.
so that people get them and understand who and what they are based on their trope. And then, rather than assembling a superhero team, Ben, it's a falling apart of a superhero team.
Oh,
story.
yeah. Oh, that's
See what we're
different,
doing?
Michael.
See what we're doing?
Oh,
Now,
I like it.
The other fly in the ointment, Ben, or the other thing that you can't not address, is that there is already a very popular Justice League pastiche in popular culture. And that is the 7 of the boys.
Oh, yeah. That exists now.
Exactly, right? So the pitfall of this, even, Ben, from a casting perspective, is you just say, we just use Anthony Starr and what's the lady who plays Queen Maeve? Dominic something?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, but it can't be the boys.
Okay,
so
fair.
They can't be bastards.
They can't be a pack of pricks.
They can't be an absolute pack of pricks. It's not, look at this edgy, evil Justice League. Isn't that fun?
Nice.
I bet you wish Karl Urban was here to slap them.
Oh, give him a spanking.
So it's not that, Ben. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So here we go. So you ready?
Yeah, go on.
You ready?
Hit me.
Okay.
Hit me.
Let's talk very briefly about casting, Ben.
Go on.
And because I've got some casting suggestions for you and I'd like your take on them.
As do I, Michael.
So,
we'll do
you have some casting suggestions?
trade-off.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of casting trade-off. So, Ben, the main character, the kind of linchpin of the Justice League is always Superman.
Yes.
And what you have with Hyperion is a big reddish strawberry blonde Superman.
Yeah.
And he's a big unit, and I think Anthony Starr is doing a great job as Homelander. But I think he's a bit diminutive. He's a bit small.
Yeah, he's a smaller man.
So, Ben, I think the only person in the world suitable to play Hyperion
Andre the Giant.
Not Andre the Giant, Ben. He's dead and not blonde and French and can't act. Benjamin, it's your friend and mine, Armand Hammer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat Armand Hammer. I think Armand Hammer is...
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on, what's your
I
take
picked
on
Henry
that?
Cavill. I thought it'd be funny to put Henry Cavill in it.
You know, Ben, you can't do that.
Why?
It would
Why
be,
can't I do that?
obviously. It
Why
would
can't
be
I
funny.
do that?
It would be funny. And, I mean, I'm aiming for some degree of realism here, Benjamin.
Okay, fair enough, Michael. Fair enough.
So, yeah, I mean, for one thing, I can't imagine Henry Cavill doing it.
I also, Michael, as a bit of a curveball casting, chose Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, very interesting. But again, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is playing Black Adam. I don't think he could be tempted to also
I know,
play...
Michael, but wouldn't it be very funny to have Dwayne The Rock Johnson try to be introspective from his puppy dog energy? Wouldn't that be good?
I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson would do a great job of being
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because Dwayne The Rock Johnson is capable of some degree of acting. So I think it'd be really interesting if you took his superhero persona, you gave it flaws.
Yeah.
You have to tackle those.
My thinking is, Ben, Armand Hammer, first of all, he's enormous.
Oh no, Armand Hammer is the choice, Michael. You are correct. I'm not contesting your choice. I'm just giving you my alternatives. Picks.
I like it. Also, Armand Hammer could conceivably beat Henry Cavill up, which I think is important.
Yes, he has several times in the movie The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E., yeah, they beat each other up in that. So that's it. That's Armand Hammer for Hyperion. He's the right age as well. He has the right look. I just think Armand Hammer. Num num num. Delicious.
Num 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 num.
Yeah. Then Benjamin.
Yeah.
So let's do the big three.
Go on.
The next one is Shitehawk, who is, the Batman pastiche.
He's basically Batman with a bit of Black Panther thrown in.
He's well, okay, so you've read Supreme Power, where Nighthawk is actually a black gentleman. But in all of the original stuff, he's white. He's American. He was the American president.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. And his name's Kyle Richmond. So I like the notion of him being a little bit older.
Okay.
And being... I like the Batman Dawn of Justice angle of like the shining golden god with the almost retired, long-serving, starting to fall apart person who doesn't quite trust him. Yeah. I have chosen, Ben, for Shitehawk, Matt Damon.
Get out of town. Michael,
Matt Damon, Ben. Go on.
Excellent.
Yeah. I like
Excellent work.
My other choice was Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, but he was in Atlanta. What is it?
Yeah,
Sea Guy.
He was in Sea Guy. Yeah, but I think that wouldn't be an issue because I think Nighthawk and King Orm are different enough that it's not going to be an obvious joke.
And also, Patrick Wilson has basically played Nighthawk.
That's why I said no in the end, because he was Night Owl already, and I think that might be a bit close to the bone casting. So Matt Damon has been in a Marvel film already. He was the actor who played Loki. But I think that's fine. I think that's enough that it can be explained away.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Who did you have, Ben?
I went for the Supreme Power one, where he's a black gentleman, and I went with Sterling K. Brown.
Oh yeah, okay. That's a good choice.
I thought he was well suited to him. He's an older man, Michael, so that it fit into your field in exquisite shape, Michael. Exquisite shape.
Yeah,
and has a good range of acting.
I also, Ben, to be honest, I like the Matt Damon Ben Affleck dichotomy.
Yeah, I know. I figured that might be
one of the other reasons. And Ben, finally, the other of the big three, and these are kind of the main three casting choices that I thought were important. Yeah, all the rest I'm willing to argue on, but for Power Woman, for Zarda, for Princess Power, I chose Jamila Jamil.
Oh yeah! Oh, that's very good, Michael. That's got layers.
It's got layers, Ben. For first choice, Ben, just because she's tall.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know if you know this, but she's, I think, even slightly taller than Gal Gadot.
Get out of town.
But also, Ben, you and I have seen good parts of The Good Place.
Yes.
And she does the outward appearance of compassionate very well.
And that's important later.
And it's very important for this character, I think.
Yes.
So I think she has the look, the size, the acting to do it.
That's good. I went with Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron.
I thought she had a big, badass, kind of imposing lady vibe.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought she could do it. Thought she could do it. Yours is. I like yours though. It's got layers, Michael. There's a lot to your casting. I prefer yours.
Okay, well that's because I probably spent more time thinking about it than you, Ben.
Probably.
And then a couple of others, Ben, just off the top of my head. Again, these are fairly minor casting because it's not about these characters. But Dr. Spectrum, Ben.
Yeah.
So for Dr. Spectrum, you want someone to play a kind of Ryan Reynolds-y, fun-loving guy who turns out to not be that much crack and things go a bit wrong for him. I've picked Adam Brody.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah. And the other three, I'm very much whatever on these three because they're essentially supporting characters.
Sure.
Wizard, Amphibian, and Lady Lark.
Lady Lark. I never gave give a quick breakdown on Lady Lark there.
Lady Lark is Black Canary.
Yeah. Okay.
She's Black Canary. She's Black Canary. It's just Black Canary.
That's it. Yep.
There's a Canadian actress. Her name's Alex Fast. She was in. She played. And this is purely based on physical appearance compared to the 1980s comic and nothing else.
Okay.
But she played a young lady who Tom Cruise accused of being a prostitute in Jack Reacher. And
so obscure.
I know, it's so obscure. But she just looks exactly right.
Okay.
And it's going to be a relatively small part. So I think, why not? Let's go with it. Because she has the right look. I haven't even thought about Wizard and Amphibian, Ben. I don't know. Patrick Wilson? For Amphibian.
Is he just your go-to pick for each one?
I just like Patrick Wilson.
That's fair enough. I actually have some backups there for you, Michael.
All right, come on, hit me with them.
For Dr. Spectrum, I chose Mr. Matt Bomer.
Matt Bomer. Yeah, well, Matt Bomer's, that's better. That's better.
I thought Matt Bomer would fit very well there. Or,
that's
Michael,
very good.
Controversially, Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought either one of those two gents could probably do the job. For for Lady Lark, I chose Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Oh yeah, okay.
Because I'm looking for star appeal, Michael.
I'm looking for star appeal. I think Blake Lively might be too big for this. I was originally thinking Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh yeah, that'd work.
Yeah, and there's a thing about it that works with Jennifer Lawrence, and it would also be great if you could have Chris Pratt in it, but we'll get to that in a bit.
And then for Wizard was way tougher.
Right. He's so generic in the comics.
Yeah, he's just your speedster.
He's just a speedster, and he's a kind of stay-at-home dad. He's a kind of classic all-American nice guy. I would have cast, I think, Patrick Wilson.
You probably should cast Patrick Wilson. But here's a controversial one, Michael, mainly because I like his eyebrows. Ty Burrell.
Who's Ty Burrell?
Coasting on that Modern Family energy of stay-at-home dad turned superhero.
All right, let's go for it. Funny. Yeah, all right.
Ty Burrell has serious acting range again, so you could really do that internal strife thing quite well.
All right, yeah. All right, okay, I'll go for it. I'm on board. All right, Ben. So, Squadron Supreme, Ben.
Go on.
We open, Ben, on a peaceful scene of space. Space. And the peaceful space scene is interrupted, Benjamin, by a flaming wreckage heading towards Earth.
Oh, no.
And it's a massive, Ben, multi-story satellite coming out of space, heading towards Earth.
The International Space Station, Michael.
Kind of, Ben, but a little bit more Justice League-y.
Good.
Yeah. And it's crashing down towards Earth, Ben. And it looks like all is lost and everything is hopeless when a reddish-orange streak comes up from Earth and uses all of his power to start pushing it and trying to hold it back, Ben. And that's the hero, on inverted commas, that's the hero of the story, Ben. It's Hyperion. He's here to save the day.
Nice.
And some music plays that's kind of like da, 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 but not that exactly, because then we get
riff
sued.
On that, though.
Not that. Maybe that, but in reverse. Da,
okay,
da, da,
nice.
Da, da. Anyway, right? So he's trying with all his might to push the satellite back. And as that's happening, we cut back down to the ground, Ben.
Oh, yes.
And on the ground, a very attractive lady is giving a kind of impassioned speech for people to stay back. And she's trying to disperse a crowd away. Mm-hmm. And the reason she tells them is, this is where the satellite's going to hit.
So she's trying to make sure they don't act the Mickey.
No, because the crowd has gathered for some reason.
To see...
Yeah, and the mob seems quite angry, Ben. I would call them a mob.
Oh, no.
But she's very calmly trying to get everyone to back away.
Filled with the milk of human kindness, Michael.
Yeah. That's why you have Jamila Jamil, Ben, because she's quite good at that.
She can do that.
She's quite good at that, Ben. But unfortunately, as she's doing that, people start shooting at her from the crowd.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so she has to do a full Wonder Woman, Ben, and she's blocking them with her shield, her magic shield.
Cool.
But, you know, she's going out of her way to not hurt anyone.
Because she's very compassionate, Michael.
Because she's very compassionate. So you see her taking down masked, armed people in the crowd, but not hurting anyone.
Good.
Right? Then, Ben, we cut again, and we see so the other members of the squadron
Yes.
doing the same thing, basically.
Excellent.
They're fighting off an armed, masked mob who are trying to get access to this area.
Yes.
Except for Dr. Spectrum, Ben.
Good.
Dr. Spectrum is using his big, powerful thing to kind of dig a big hole and make fortifications around where the satellite's going to land.
I often do that with my big, powerful thing, Michael.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excavation.
You're always digging a hole for yourself that you can't get out of. So Ben, the main thing we gather from this is that they're working well as a cohesive unit. Think the opening scene of Avengers: Age of Ultron.
But even better.
But basically, we're seeing this is our introduction to the theme, straight into the action. So nice. we see Lady Lark in fights with people, and again, not hurting anyone. We see her sonic power and how she can disperse a crowd with it by like giving them a headache. Basically, she's not hurting people. She's going and they're like, fuck, I'm getting out of here. And Princess Power is like breaking guns in half and stuff and leaving people confused. Whizzer is just zipping around taking guns off people and moving people out of the way of bits of debris that are falling down. But all the people are wearing masks, Ben, and they're very angry, and we don't really know what's afoot.
Yes, it's all a mystery.
Exactly. So, Ben, the Squadron Supreme, the thing is it's coming down, it's coming through the atmosphere, and as it's coming through the atmosphere, we get the classic team-up moment where Power Princess flies up as well, and she starts helping to push it, and Amphibian helps to jump up and push it as well, because he can fly for some reason, don't ask. And Dr. Spectrum shoots his thing, and he's helped pushing it. And basically, Ben, at the end of the day, they land the satellite safely, and it's the kind of heroic moment.
Job
done. But then the crowd is still pelting bricks at them. And they're like, and then they go back to trying to disperse the crowd. Okay. So we see a big meeting with the team afterwards, Ben. And we learn that the reason that everyone is angry is that the world is in crisis.
Okay.
Because there have been, among other things, energy shortages.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And unusual happenings, Ben, kind of rifts. And there's a new kind of a plague that's happening.
So it's 2020, Michael.
It's 2020, Ben. They live in 2020. They live in the earth of 2020. And people are sick and tired of being told to stay in their homes and not gather in places. So when they saw that the Squadron Supreme were gathering to stop this satellite which was falling, and the satellite, Ben, has fallen because of disrepair, because of everything else that's going on, no one's being able to maintain it. So people they're there to protest, Ben, and they're not happy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like anything we'd ever experienced, Michael.
Exactly, Ben. Exactly. Yeah. So, and one of the big problems, Ben, is this new disease. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow the laws of physics.
Okay.
And the ruptures that are happening and injuring people and devastating power supplies.
The old rifts.
The rifts. They're unexplained. No one knows what's going on. Oh. So the Squadron Supreme, Ben, they're very upset by all of this.
Yes, naturally.
And they decide governments haven't been able to solve it.
Oh.
Perhaps the onus is on them to solve it.
Oh.
Because they are the 7 most powerful people in the world.
Planet.
Yeah. So they say, so let's do it. Let's take it upon ourselves to stop people gathering. Let's take it upon ourselves to disarm society. And they have Princess Power, obviously, because she's the eloquent, compassionate speaker. One. She goes on television and tells people Yeah, the UN. And she tells people the Squadron Supreme will be taking over the crisis management for the planet.
Good.
And everyone's like, okay, good. That's
about time.
Yeah, that's good. Hyperion is whizzing around the place delivering medicine.
Good.
Whizzer is rushing people to hospital.
I feel like you missed a beat there with saying that Hyperion's whizzing around the place as opposed to Whizzer's whizzing around the place.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I meant Whizzer.
It's a note.
And,
it's a note. It's just a note. Casual note.
Yeah. So they start working, Ben, and they convince everyone to stay at home through a series of fear posters and campaigns.
Oh, propaganda, Michael. Nice.
Propaganda, Ben. It's very popular. And behind the scenes, we see that Nighthawk, aka Matt Damon. He's like, I don't know about this, guys. This isn't what we were supposed to do. We're supposed to be protecting freedom. This isn't why I got into it. I'm a non-powered guy who just has money and I can kick a man in the head. I have no interest in taking over the world and making it safe for everyone. I just want to kick criminals in the head in New York.
Yes, I'm a well-off psychopath. Leave me alone to my violence.
And they're like, Matt Damon, give it over. It doesn't matter. It's grand. Everything's grand. We're doing this for the good of everyone.
This is fine.
It's all going fine. And Matt Damon's like, there's going to be resistance. People are going to be pissed off about this. And they're like, don't worry about resistance. We're the most powerful people on the planet. We'll sort it out. We'll deal with people peacefully. We'll sort everything out. So, Benjamin,
come on.
It turns out that there is some resistance.
Oh,
sorry, hold on. I nearly forgot something.
Oh.
In the meanwhile, Ben, one of our couples... Dr. Spectrum and Lady Lark.
Are they together?
They're together.
Oh.
And Dr. Spectrum is kind of, he's the one who's more into it. And she's kind of like, don't, look, look, it is what it is. We're having fun. We don't need to make it any more than that. And he's like, all right, fair enough, whatever.
But my parents are coming up for Thanksgiving and I'd really like you to meet them. Okay.
So, Benjamin, it turns out that we're going to meet a series of villains.
Go on.
And who the villains aren't madly important.
Okay.
But they are Lamprey, who is a guy who is a real creep, and he can suck energy and he can steal people's powers. He's rogue, essentially.
Okay.
And we have a Catwoman analogy called the Mink, and she's mink themed instead of Catwoman, instead of cat themed.
Big difference.
And, yeah. And it's a motley crew, Ben. A motley crew of weirdos. There's a guy called Quagmire, and he can maybe not. That doesn't work anymore because of Family Guy. But he can summon black ooze, extra-dimensional gross black ooze.
Tar Pit. We'll call him Tar Pit.
Tar Pit, sure. And there's a kind of misshapen blobby guy.
Oh, yeah.
Who can stretch out his body. Anyway,
body image
really
issues,
matter.
man.
It doesn't really matter. Other than these people are against the Squadron Supreme.
Yeah. Okay.
And they are fighting back against them.
Yes. And a legitimate threat because they're also superpowered.
Yes, but they're nowhere near as superpowered. They're weird, freaky superpowers rather than global superpowers.
Okay.
None of them are going to win a fight against the Squadron Supreme, Ben.
Not really.
And we see that.
Yeah.
In it, like we see, for example, a protest against the new vaccine delivery room, and it's attacked by 3 or 4 of these members, and Princess Power and Dr. Spectrum sorted out entirely on their own.
Yeah, they give it a quick whooping. 1, 2. Yes.
But it comes to them, Ben, that they're not making any inroads. They're kind of solving the plague problem because everyone has to stay at everyone has to stay at home, and they have to stay in their houses, and they're solving the energy crisis problem by developing cleaner, modern energy, and things are going pretty well.
Michael, have you written a movie that makes you feel better about the fact that our planet is slowly dwindling into nothing?
Me and Al Gore have written this movie together, Ben. He's my low-key on-the-side contributor. So they're doing away with fossil fuels, Ben. But, the fossil fuel people are like, you can't do away with fossil fuels. And they're like, well, we are.
Yep, I want my money. I don't care.
What am I going to do? You're Hyperion. He's like, exactly. Look at the size of me. I'm the actor Armand Hammer. That's my real name, Armand Hammer. It's not a joke. And anyway, Ben, the resistance keeps growing and growing. And with the resistance growing, criminality is also growing.
Oh, social ills, Michael.
So they're making good progress in making the world better, but they're not making any progress, Ben, in getting people along for the ride.
Right.
So, luckily, Ben, they have a scientist.
Oh, that's handy.
And the scientist is a kind of Lex Luthor type.
Oh?
Yeah. I don't know who you would cast as him, Ben. I was thinking it would be, what's his name, who's always everyone's dad. You know the guy I'm talking of? The guy, he's always everyone's dad. He was Bruce Wayne's dad. He was the Winchester boys' dad.
Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It'll be
He's
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Dad.
Yeah. And he has developed, Ben, a behavior modification technology.
Oh no, Michael.
And you can use this behavior modification technology on anyone to stop them doing unwanted behaviors.
Oh boy.
And the Squadron are like, well, look, that's a bit much.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know if we need that.
We're only going to use it in extreme cases.
Oh, Michael. The slippery slope of public control.
And so at this stage, the dissenters are Lady Lark, played by
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence, or that Canadian woman, Nighthawk,
Yes.
and Amphibian.
Okay,
and
so
the
they're all
ones-
like, I don't know about this, guys.
I don't know about this. This is not a great idea. And Nighthawk is like, guys, you can't be doing this. This is no use whatsoever.
Okay.
But Hyperion and Zarda and Power, and Ben, it's not a coincidence that it's kind of the more powerful ones who are for it.
Yeah, because they don't have the correct frame of reference to empathize with human beings because they're gods.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
Perfect sense, Michael. Perfect sense.
they're like, look, listen, we're only going to do it on convicted criminals who volunteer.
What?
And
Who's
if
going
they
to volunteer?
if they volunteer for the behavior modification, they're released from prison automatically and given cushy jobs in the Squadron's new global initiatives.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
So the fish man is like, oh, I don't know. I'm Patrick Wilson. I am not sure about this. And
Patrick Wilson says, I don't know.
Matt Damon is like, we're on a line. And
It's a classic Batman line.
yeah,
Okay.
this is the line. And we're straddling the line. And I'm not happy with it. And I'm watching all of you. And then everyone else is like, yeah, whatever, we'll just do it. But only if we really need to.
All right, Shitehawk, settle down.
Yeah, all right, sure.
Settle
Calm
down.
down. You can't even do that. You just go kick a man in the head in New York, you prick. So
You moody
everyone's
prick.
like, all right, okay, well, okay, we'll only do it if they're real baddies. For example, what about these 5 baddies that we captured?
Very
Should
recently.
we do it on them?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, all right, let's do it on them.
Hardly a loss to society. Fuck
Hardly
it.
a loss to society. But they encounter a problem, Ben, in that Lamprey refuses to consent.
Good for Lamprey.
But, Ben, they do it anyway.
Oh, no, Michael, that's not cool.
Oh, no, not great. So, that's what pushes Shitehawk, and Shitehawk's like, this is no use. I am 100% out of here.
I'm again it. Yeah.
I'm getting out of here. I'm not having it. I'm out. See ya. And he's gone.
Gonzo.
Then, Ben, over the next couple of scenes, we see that things have really improved in the relationship between Dr. Spectrum and Lady Lark.
Because he used the behavior modification unit on her.
Why would you think that?
Because things have really improved, Michael.
Yeah, and for some reason she's suddenly utterly dedicated to him.
Oh, did I spoil that for you? I'm so sorry.
No, it's supposed to be obvious.
Okay.
It will be obvious. It is supposed to be obvious.
That's good.
So that's why Jennifer Lawrence being that character is interesting, because I don't know if you remember the film Passengers, where she essentially had that done to her.
And got gaslit to fuck.
She got gaslit to fuck, and it turned out she's like, oh, maybe I still do love you though. So this is the redemption for that bullshit.
That
Benjamin.
weird movie where people just got on board with that weird manipulated abusive relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Everyone's on board with it. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
So so they induct the new 5 members, Ben. These villains.
Go on.
And things are kind of going okay, except Amphibian
Go on.
realizes that something is up with Lady Lark.
Yeah, what's going on?
And he's like, what's going on? Who did this? This better not have happened. And it results, Ben, in a kind of unpleasant showdown.
Oh, good.
Whereupon Amphibian, in the team meeting, attacks Dr. Spectrum.
Right.
Because he's utterly convinced of what Dr. Spectrum has done.
Which is no good.
Which is no good. It's no es bueno. But unfortunately for him, Lady Lark attacks then Amphibian.
Oh no, because she's utterly dedicated to Doc Spectrum.
Utterly dedicated to Dr. Spectrum. And then Zarda's like, well, hold on a minute here, everyone stop. And it turns into a bit of a brawl.
Yeah, classic.
And the brawl happens basically until Hyperion Daddy comes back and puts them all...
Gives now a clap of his hands, shockwave
puts
dispersal.
Puts them all back in his seat.
Yeah.
And it shows us that really the team is him.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's not
nowhere.
7. It's 6 lads and a bloody powerhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a god and his mates. So, long story short, Ben, Dr. Spectrum is removed from the team.
Because of his heinous actions.
Yeah, Zarda initiates a vote to get him out of there.
Yeah.
And Lady Lark goes with him.
But Michael, surely it's their moral responsibility to remove whatever bloody hardwiring has been put on her.
Yes, so Ben, they speak with the Lex Luthor character, and he says, can't be done.
Oh, what?
Because if it could be done, it would be too dangerous. We have these 5 members of the resistance that we've indoctrinated onto our team here. And if it was so simple to undo it, then they could turn on us at any moment.
No good.
So it can't be done. It's not that I won't do it, it's that the machine was designed to be irrevocable.
It's a one-way trip.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they lose Dr. Spectrum and Lady Lark goes off with them.
Yeah.
And Patrick Wilson, Amphibian, is like, you know what, guys? Fuck this. This is bullshit.
Fair.
And he smashes the shit out of the machines, the behavior modification program, in the middle of the night and leaves. And that's the last we ever see of him.
That's it.
He's gone. He never comes back. Doesn't come back for the denouement. Yeah. So, Ben, as you can see now, they're pretty down on members.
Yeah, we've lost a few now. So
Dr. Spectrum's gone.
Let's do the midway count. Go on.
Dr. Spectrum's gone.
Yeah.
Lady Lark is gone.
Yeah.
Shitehawk is gone. What? Shitehawk's gone.
Yeah.
And Amphibian's gone.
Oh, that's quite a few gone. So we've got Zarda and we've got Hyperion.
Zarda, Hyperion, and Whizzer are left of the originals.
Poor Whizzer, just sitting in the corner.
He's like, what am I doing? I'm Ty Burrell. Have you seen my eyebrows? And Benjamin, they're like, okay, we need, and they have, of course, the 5 weirdos that they got on board.
Oh yeah, the bloody creepos.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, we need to recruit. We need to recruit more heroes because the world's problems are not getting better. They're getting worse. There's ever more and more resistance against us. There are militaries form, and you could have these as action sequences, Ben, like Zarda going to try and stop a military commander who's gone rogue and is refusing to follow the Squadron Supreme. Nice. And has taken over a town or something. And you could reenact the Wonder Woman saving the French town.
Oh,
but this time the people holding the town are people who are rebelling against the fascist state.
Yeah, tyranny of bloody Squadron Supreme.
Exactly. But the most important thing in all of this is Zarda never once is evil.
Yeah, it's very important, Michael.
She's always
compassionate.
compassionate. And she always thinks what they're doing is right.
Okay.
Right. So there are more and more supervillains appearing. There are more and more scenes of unrest appearing. We need to recruit more.
Okay.
So we have a little recruitment montage, Ben.
Nice.
And we see them recruit other people.
A Green Arrow.
A Green Arrow. You could get a Green Arrow in there.
A Red Tornado.
A tornado. Doesn't matter.
Your generic smorgasbord of B-listers. Yeah.
Yeah. Until you have let's say around 15.
Okay, so we're going for a bigger team. Nice.
You have about 15 on the team. So you have your 8 originals and
Yes.
7 new members.
Okay.
And Benjamin, they keep pushing and pushing. They disarm the entire public. They
Wow.
they make mask wearing and staying at home mandatory throughout the day. You're only allowed out at certain times. The Lex Luthor scientist guy, Ben, he discovers that the source of this virus that's causing the plague
Yes.
is extra-dimensional.
Oh, what? What? A
Yeah.
quantum virus?
Exactly, Ben.
Hmm.
And it doesn't follow exactly the laws of physics of their dimension.
And
So
that's why
it's-
it's spreading so darn fast.
And it's unstoppable because it doesn't respond to any medicine from that dimension. And
Shite.
it turns out, Ben, that the rifts that have been forming are the source of it.
Oh, no. Nice. Leaking into other dimensions.
Exactly, Ben. And it turns out, Ben, that these leaks have been formed by someone in some other dimension mucking about with the quantum realm between dimensions.
Is Reed Richards the secret supervillain in this?
No, it's the Avengers, Ben. From
Because they've
from
been
their-
mucking around.
because they've been mucking around, Ben. You can't muck around with the quantum realm without.
Oh, I love it.
So it turns out, Ben, that the Squadron Supreme's world is in the quantum realm. It's tiny.
Oh,
Everything
that's
is teeny, teeny,
Hyperion's
tiny.
origin. Look at you doing the deep
So-
cuts.
So everyone's very, very teeny tiny. So Hyperion comes up with a plan.
Go on.
And the plan is take the Squadron Supreme,
Yeah.
enlarge them to the dimensions of this other physical universe,
Pretty fucking big.
pretty fucking big, and go and put a stop to this carry on.
Yeah.
But the only way that they can do that is by leaving the world completely safe.
Yeah, because they can't. Because they're going to be
So-
gone, so no one's going to look
Yeah.
after it. Yeah.
So they say, if we're going to be gone for that long, we're going to have to behavior modify anyone who's not towing the line.
Oh, slippery fucking slope.
There's a slippery slope. And that's the point, Ben, at which, you know, people are having their doubts. Hyperion is like, we have to do this. This is the only way. We're doing it to save our world.
It's very
and
important.
Zarda's like, okay, yeah, I mean, he's probably right, I guess. And Wizard's like, I don't know, guys. I'll go along with you because I'm just the Wizard. I haven't had any character development whatsoever
Poor
in this whole
Tyrell.
film. So what am I going to do? So Benjamin,
Yeah.
they start the global behavior modification program on everyone.
Oh,
supervillains.
no.
Criminals, mask dissenters,
Oh,
everyone,
dear.
Ben. And they build their interdimensional craft,
Go on.
and they have a great big grand launch day for their
Good.
interdimensional craft where they're going to go, and you know, approved people are at it. So there's a huge positive crowd there.
Yeah, because they're in line with the values needed to keep this glorious red state running. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But, Benjamin, on the tarmac, on the way, as they're walking towards the thing, a couple of missiles hit the tarmac in front of them.
Oh, no.
And, I mean, it's nothing. Hyperion catches one and it explodes in his face and he just kind of looks at it. And out of the clouds comes the Shitehawk mobile.
Nice.
And it's Matt Damon.
Matt
And it's
Damon.
Nighthawk.
Yeah.
And he's back. And he lands the ship. And he gets out of the ship with 5 or 6 supervillains.
Oh. Controversial.
And he says, you're not going on this ship. You've done too much. We have to stop this.
You're a bunch of
behavior
bad
modifying
eggs.
the whole world.
Give
You're
over.
a bunch of bad eggs. And Hyperion's like, Matt Damon, old friend, I'm actor Armand Hammer. I'm 6'8". Have you ever seen the size of me? I'll crush you like a peanut. You don't crush a peanut, a grape. And Matt Damon's like, we'll stop you. We'll do anything we can to stop you. And Armand and Princess Power is like, there's only you and you don't have any powers and these 5 other people. And his power is he inflates into a ball. You've not really made the best time to make this choice. Then one of the people with him takes off the mask, and it's Dr. Spectrum.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Dr. Spectrum's like, you guys made me go too far. If you'd never made that machine, I wouldn't have mind controlled the lovely Lady Lark. And they're like, well, that's a bit morally grey, isn't it?
Yeah, because
really
you're a
what
big
you're
old
saying
creep,
is
Dr. Spectrum.
You're just pissed at us.
Yeah.
You're on the... So, I mean, I like that. I like the fact that he's on the side of anti-fascism.
Yeah.
But not for any great morals other than they kicked him out of the club.
Yeah, and he likes to. He's given himself a convenient little moral hindsight there, where he's like, "Well, if the technology hadn't existed, I wouldn't have done it. If knives weren't a thing, I wouldn't be a serial killer. Get the book. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then
Very
Zarda
loose logic.
says, "Well, anyway, look, I don't know what you're doing because there's still 15 of us and 5 of you." And Nighthawk says, "Not exactly." And then at that point, the Lex Luthor guy comes down off the ship.
Yeah.
And says, well, maybe we haven't been completely honest. And all of the recent inductees into the squadron turn and encircle them.
Oh, what? Get out of
Exactly,
town.
Ben.
What?
So,
It's a coup.
it turns out, through a series of events, that Nighthawk had placed all of those people in the League to do this.
Oh, Nighthawk.
See? He's an old shitehawk, isn't he? And it's revealed, Ben, that the machine was reversible.
Oh, what?
So the 5 sure things that they thought. So then, Ben, we have a superpowered brawl
Nice.
between about 15 minorly powered kind of X-Men level characters.
And a god.
And 4 absolute powerhouses, basically.
Nice.
And people are gonna die.
Not good.
Yeah, everyone's gonna die, basically.
Great.
So there's an absolute slaughter on the tarmac, Ben. And I don't know if you've ever read Roy Thomas's Squadron Supreme, Ben, but that's pretty much the final showdown that I've described in the comic.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that, Michael.
And that episode is actually called Civil War. And it takes place between a bunch of superheroes who are pro kind of fascism accidentally and those who are against it on the tarmac of an airport. It is the movie Civil War, but much bloodier.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So among other things, in the fight, Zarda kills Dr. Spectrum.
But what?
Because she's like, what did you do to Lady Lark? It's unacceptable.
She finally snaps, Michael. She loses her compassion.
Yeah. So she loses it and she goes, that's it. And she just smashes his head in.
Cool.
Most of the kind of minor villains are killed.
Yeah. Standard.
Mostly by Hyperion.
Yeah,
and mostly accidentally. Yeah. Like he just kind of backhands, let's say, the mink.
And her head just clean.
Yeah. Or just like, he doesn't mean to kill her. He just backhands her casually and she dies because she's a normal woman. She's a human woman with claws.
And she's essentially been hit by a truck.
Yeah. And then it turns out the kind of only hope they have is Lamprey. So Lamprey...
Oh.
Yeah, so Lamprey latches on to Hyperion.
Yes.
And manages to drain most of his power.
Big move.
So Hyperion kind of collapses. But now you've got someone who was always a prick.
With Hyperion level.
With Hyperion's power. So he basically starts attacking everyone.
Oh.
And he's like, this is for what you did to me. And he smashes in, let's say, pick someone, Ben.
Wizard.
Who's still there. He breaks both of Wizard's legs as Wizard's trying to run past him.
Nice.
And it's awful, Ben. And by hook or by crook, they manage to stop him and he dies.
So Lamprey's going to need a proper actor in the seat then, because
yeah. You want someone really awful, like who's available, who's really awful.
John Malkovich.
That's an interesting.
There's a man with some serious presence, Michael, who could scare the shit out of you if he wanted.
Yeah. So Benjamin, at the end, Hyperion is pretty much down and out.
Okay.
Lamprey has absolutely knocked the shit out of Wizard.
Good.
Dr. Spectrum's dead.
Right.
Lamprey has completely pummeled Princess Power.
Yeah.
Remember the scene in the Justice League where Superman kicks the shit out of them?
Yeah, with
that,
barely a sweat broken. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, but he's awful. And eventually they manage to... Well, I mean, let's say his power doesn't last forever, so it's draining the whole time. And they take him down and they have to kill him. Cool. And the battlefield is bloody and mess and everything's horrible. And along comes Lady Lark. Lady Lark. And Lady Lark sees that Dr. Spectrum has been killed.
Oh, that's no good.
And she blames our Lex Luthor fella and Matt Damon.
Oh no.
And she comes up and she's crying and she's like, what am I going to do? How are we going to... And whatchamacallem, Matt Damon gives her a little hug. But as she's hugging him, she screams so loudly, on purpose, at him that he dies and his head explodes.
Oh, he has an old head explosion.
Yeah, he has an old head explosion.
Nice.
So, the Squadron Supreme is devastated. Their shuttle is in ruins, and the world is kind of shit. But at least they're not in charge anymore, and no one's fascists.
Fade to black.
Pretty much.
Oh, I love it.
So, the whole point being then, Ben, that if you wanted... You could... we're very late into this episode. If you wanted, in future episodes, Ben, in future movies, you could have Whizzer, Hyperion, and Zarda come across the quantum realm to get revenge.
Nice.
And, put a stop to the damage done to their world.
Nice.
The end.
Michael, that was excellent. What an enjoyable nihilistic film.
Yeah, wouldn't it be good?
Yeah, it'd be fun. David Fincher should direct it because he's kind of dark and moody and a bit of a
Scott Snyder. Get Scott Snyder in.
Oh, no.
It's what Scott Snyder wanted to do anyway. Boo. At least in this, Batman has a reason to hate Superman.
Yeah, because he's a big fascist prick.
Because he's a big, unintentionally fascist prick.
Yeah, but I think a lot of fascists probably started out unintentionally, and then they're like, well, I can't let you have the reins back now because I'm doing so well.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the joy of having Princess Power there, and why I think Jamila Jamil is a good casting choice. Because she'll never seem like the villain until perhaps maybe at the end when she loses it and starts splitting heads.
And you just realise that seething rage has been there the whole time.
Yeah.
I like it. What I like most about it, Michael, is probably the fact that you're going to have a lot of fun revealing how much duress these heroes are really under. Like, I'm going to enjoy the scene where Jamila goes back to her quarters and like rips the heads off stuffed toys and stuff. I'm going to enjoy watching that scene. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy that scene where Ty Burrell is like, what the fuck am I doing here? While he Skypes with his kids and his wife. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy the scene where Amphibian is like, oh, fuck.
I'm going back to the undersea. Screw you guys.
Yeah, and I'm just going to live underwater. Bye. Yeah. And I enjoy the scene where like Matt Bomer or Neil Patrick... See, this is why I think Neil Patrick Harris is even better, because everybody loves Neil Patrick Harris. Then you find out he's a real fucking slimeball.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think it would work.
You know,
because his charming womanizing ways have gone too far. Yeah, that works.
It's not womanizing; it's now kind of date rape in the extreme. Yeah, it's real weird.
Yeah, much worse.
It's real weird. Fucking Dr. Spectrum, more like Dr. Gaslight, huh?
So, a lot of characters in that, Ben, well, obviously we combined them. That's not Dr. Spectrum in the comics who does that. It's the Golden Archer.
Oh, it is the Golden Archer in the comic. Yeah.
And Dr. Spectrum, instead, in the comics, has a kind of crisis of conscience about non-violence. But you can't have a 25-character movie.
We're going to need some amalgam characters,
setup.
Michael.
So you have to amalgamate some of them.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Right, that was very enjoyable, Michael.
Well, let's bloody wrap it up there, Ben.
Bloody wrap it up there, Michael.
10 minutes over our normal episode length.
Would you pay to watch this on your favourite streaming service of choice?
No, it's a movie, Ben.
Would you give Disney an extra bit of money to watch this early when we release it straight to your televisual screens? What do you think of our casting?
I think it's excellent.
Who would you pick for the different casts?
Armand Hammer.
Armand Hammer is obviously the only Hyperion choice you're ever going to need. Jamila Jamil, Michael, you're absolutely right, is the only choice for your version of Princess Power. Makes a lot of sense.
The rest are up in the air, Ben.
The rest are up in the air, let's be honest. Shitehawk could be anybody.
Could be anybody. Patrick Wilson.
I'm kind of now married to Neil Patrick Harris's Dr. Spectrum. I'm not going to lie
All
to
right,
you.
I'm on board. And
I'm going to have to take Ty Burrell because I just really like the idea of an older superhero just being like, fuck.
I just want to go home to
It
my
didn't used
kids.
to be like this. God damn it.
This is no use.
And John Malkovich's Lamprey. I'm for it. John Malkovich
right.
reprising his role. Or Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage
A
would be
really
interesting.
over-the-top lamplay. Imagine a Nicolas Cage meltdown when you get the power
That
of
would be-
Hyperion.
That would be a bit mad.
It'd be good. I'd be into it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us for this week. Do you enjoy the podcast? Would you
No.
like to get in touch with us? There are several
Oh,
ways
yes.
to do so. We are on the web at www.seomrabeag.com, seomrabeag.com.
Means tiny room in Irish.
It does indeed. You can find us on the gram. That is the instant gram at
Yes.
Sean Rabeag. Same spelling and roughly the same meaning.
Roughly the same meaning.
You can also find us, ladies and gentlemen, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other platforms where you might listen to a bloody podcast. If you are listening to us on any of those platforms and there's a like button or a review button, please go ahead and do that. It really helps us to get our lovely little podcast out there to new folks and fairies. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it for us. We're off to go and see if we can convince Armie Hammer to make a very interesting career move. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right, bye.